We're going to give it another couple minutes, see if we can see if a few more are going to show up. Let's go ahead and get started. First off, we're going to one of our members has passed away. For those of you who know him, named David Chisholm, KD7 TNX. He passed away on Sunday. Thought maybe we could just give him a moment of silence. Okay, thank you. A couple of things, a couple of announcements real quick first. Utah Valley Swap Meet is this Saturday, September 26th from 9 to noon. It'll be at the Spanish Fork North Park, 1185 North 4th East, UtahValleySwapMeet.com. And they're recommending masks and social distancing, especially since Utah County went back to an orange today or tomorrow. The Racy's Aries Conference, put it on your calendars for November 7th. We have not received any additional information about it, so we don't know if it's going to be online or in person or exactly what. So put it on your calendars. If you can, plan to attend. It's free. So, Ryan, you want to go ahead and tell us about next month's training?
Right now, it's slated that we're going to have Mickey, KE7NZA, do an effective net control operator presentation. With our last exercise that we did, it was pointed out and even demonstrated that anybody at any time can be asked to be a net control operator, whether on a just a temporary fill-in, or in case another station goes off the air or anything like that. So I did everything I could to make sure I arranged that. I am still kind of hoping that I'll end up getting a special guest for us, at least sometime here soon. I've been working on something. It'd be a real treat for all of us if we can get the individual, but that's what we've got planned as of right now.
Okay, thank you. And Mickey hasn't checked on yet, so I don't know if there's any events happening. Anybody know any?
The only event that I know of is actually Saturday, and that's the Bike the Bear. And then I don't know if they still need people up there, if Kevin got anything filled in for the Bear 100. Other than that, just about everything has been following suit with this year's events and been canceling off for the most part.
Mickey is on now.
Is he? Sweet.
Go ahead, Mickey. Do you have any announcements for us? Mickey?
Hello, I'm trying to get my microphone working.
There you go.
That's the problem with having too many options.
Well, you were loud and then you went soft, so
How's it sounding now?
you're pretty soft, but we can hear you.
Ryan, while we're waiting for Ricky to get going, just confirming, is that going to be Mickey's training? Will that be on the 28th?
It will be October the 28th, correct?
Yes, yep. That's going to be our next in-person meeting.
And that'll be the same codes to get in. So
Okay.
keep the codes. You can use them for next month.
Right, thank you.
While Mickey's working on that, if there's any topics or anything that anybody is interested in or that think that might, be great to have presented or, anything like that that end up benefiting all of us, in the Aries group, feel free to send me an email. My call sign at gmail.com, and I'll be more than willing to explore any of the options and see where we can end up getting things in. Still need a few more ideas. I do have quite a few of them booked out until probably, I think it was next summer. So if there's something that's more pressing that somebody else knows of that I don't already have on my list, I'll do my best to get it all worked in as quick as I can. Like I said, I am working on trying to get a special guest speaker. And if it works out, then I think it'd be a real treat for all of us.
Okay. I just want to thank Ryan especially because he's taken on the frequency czar position as well as our training coordinator for Salt Lake County Aries. So I appreciate all he's doing and thank you. Okay, Mickey, go ahead.
Just wondering, can you hear me better this week? Okay, that just means I need to keep wearing the headset when I'm on a Zoom meeting. We have no current announcements. The only thing coming up will be Skywarn, and I have not yet heard from Kevin as to whether that's going to end up being a virtual or an in-person event. As soon as I know, I will have it posted up on the Utah SAG site.
Okay. When's you guys' next test that you're giving?
That is up in the air. Taylorsville City Hall is being remodeled, and as such, they have moved everybody from upstairs to downstairs, and is office space and is not secure.
Mickey, we lost you.
You got a
breaking
bad
up.
connection. Yeah.
Any better that way?
You don't have the background noise, but
Okay, can you hear me though? Am I coming through on the mic?
you're soft, but we can hear you.
Okay. Anyway, I'll speak a little louder and get more into the microphone. The Taylorsville City Hall is being remodeled, and as such, they have moved everybody from upstairs to downstairs and moved a bunch of people into the council chambers for office space, and the council chamber is no longer secure. We've been waiting to hear from them as to whether or not we'll be able to set up in the foyer area with a few tables. If that happens, if they allow us to do that, then we will have our test session next Monday, the 29th. If not, we're going to have to just go for next month.
Okay. So that'll be the 28th, actually, not the 29th. So,
Yes, it will. Yes, you're right. Yep.
okay. Thank you.
Okay.
I just would like to encourage you all to start using Aries Connect. I don't know if any of you do use it, but I was noticing on it that we don't have a lot of people signing up and tracking their hours. So I'm just going to take like 5 minutes and show you how easy it is. So when you go to Aries, this is the page that will show up. Wait a minute. Why isn't it doing it?
Say we're still looking at the presentation, Eldon.
Okay, let's share screen again. Get on the right. Okay, this is a page that you'll go to when you do it. You can create an account if you haven't got one already, or you just go to sign in if you're already, you call sign and password and sign in. Then your page will look like this, minus a couple of things up here. The events, and to sign up for an event, if I wanted to go to Murray's weekly in-person meeting, weekly training, just click on the sign up, gives you this, and then you can go back to the list and sign up for more stuff. Now, when you sign up, you'll end up getting between 1 and 4 emails. With the emails, you'll get, this will be your first one you'll get possibly, and it's thank you, you are registered for the event. And then after that one, you'll get a reminder one 2 or 3 days before, reminder of the event. Then after that one, you will get one that says, thank you for attending. After that one, you'll get another one that says, thank you for attending. Please report your hours. Then you just click on report hours and you put how many hours that event was worth. It could be 1, it could be up to 6 possibly, or even more with depending on how many hours the event is signed up for. So if you guys would please, consider doing that. I was looking at some of these events, and, today's in person, we have 7 people signed up for. A lot of the events have very few people signed up. So please take a minute, sign up. It helps track your hours. It helps it helps take care of, it helps the Aries fight for more frequency stuff to show that we're doing it. Tim, did you have a question?
There multiple times and have selected that I want to be part of something, and I am never, whatever process on your end that says that I am allowed to be part of that does not go through.
Okay. Let me do a little research and I will try and get that fixed. So, okay.
Eldon,
Yes, sir.
I just may add that if you have an Android phone, there's a Aries Connect app on it. That's what I use. So it makes it just with a click of a button. It takes you right to the website and allows you to sign up. So I suggest if you have an Android phone to use Aries Connect app.
Howdy.
John, did you have a question? Okay. Okay, and if you do have any problems, please just email me and I will do a little research and find out what's going on. My email is Kilo Foxtrot 7 Yankee X-Ray Lima at ARRL.net. So email me and I'll try and figure it out and get back with you, figure out what's going on with it. Okay. Now, we're going to go to Dan, and Dan is going to give his presentation on Go Boxes. And then when we're done, we have a couple more announcements and a couple more things to go through. So, Dan, over to you.
Okay.
Real quick, it looks like there's a comment in there saying that along with the app for Android, there's also one for iPhone.
Good. So it looks like
I just looked at the Aries Connect for iPhone, and it looks like it's a game, not a. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
you're
an
probably going to have
Aries
to do a
Connect.
search for it.
It's not.
So let me see you.
Doesn't look like it's a app for the website.
You'll probably just have to do a Google search for it, I'm sure, and then you can bring it up.
Over you, Dan.
Okay, great. I'm going to share my screen. And you should see ham radio GoKits. What is right for me? Is there anybody who does not see it? Eldon, do you see it? Okay, great. So, as you probably know by now, my name, of course, is Dan Lundwall and 7XDL. And I've only been a ham radio operator for about 5+ years now and hold a general class license. I'm also the founder and president of the Marine Amateur Radio Club. With that said, I don't want everybody to get up and walk out of this presentation because of the newbie trying to educate a veteran ham radio operator. I stand in awe at the amount of experience that is included with this group here on Zoom. So I am not going to, you guys could teach me a thing or two about this wonderful hobby of ours. So as not to insult anyone with my level of experience, let me first tell you what I plan on doing this evening. My goal is to demonstrate that the building of a ham radio GoKit is a very personal decision. There are no standards when it comes to GoKits. I will be emphasizing emergency communications, but the concept I present work for any reason why you would want to build one. As a matter of fact, what I'm about to tell you is widely available to anyone who simply looks. Before I started my own GoKit build, I went to the source of all knowledge, yea, the guru of intelligence, the master of all things known, where everything is 100% correct. Yes, the internet. I attended various workshops presented by Dan O'Connor, as well as John Jacobs. I've watched literally hundreds of videos on YouTube. I've witnessed many friends and fellow ham radio operators create their own, giving me many wonderful ideas before I created my own. I came to the conclusion that everyone has the same basic idea when it comes to GoKits, and that is, GoKits are as varied as the person making it. So based on all the material I gathered, I set out making my own GoKit. And you guys have seen my GoKit in previous in-person meetings. But before I demonstrate my build, let's discuss a couple of fundamental things that were common in all the sources that I studied. Let's first define what a GoKit is. A GoKit is an organized group of interrelated items placed in a container designed to fulfill a purpose. That just about sums it up, doesn't it? Because the very definition of a GoKit tells us that it is designed to fulfill a purpose, we can postulate, and that's my big word for this week, that the purpose can be as different as the person creating it. Some people will create a GoKit for a very specialized purpose, like my first one, for example. My first GoKit was built around my responsibilities as a member of the Solid County Aries group. And it was designed so that I could provide communications for 24/7 for as long as the event required. My other GoKit was created to grab and take with me to provide communications in a SAG vehicle. Yet another GoKit is built just around various HTs I have. I am currently modifying an HF GoKit to take with me on field day and similar events. There's literally no end to the kind of GoKits that you might build. So for me, I needed to create a GoKit based on some goals. My goals may be different than yours. You need to define the purpose of your GoKit. If you don't have an end product in mind or a purpose in mind, then it will be rather difficult in building one. You won't know when you're done. So, what is your purpose? Another way of saying this is, what is it that you are trying to accomplish? As I stated earlier, I will be focusing on emergency communications. So let me start off with that. Are you a member of a group that requires communications, especially communications dealing with emergencies or emergency communications when other forms of communications are down, like Aries? We're all part of that group. There are lots of emergency communication groups. I have just listed a few here. But what about personal use? Sometimes you might want to be able to communicate when you're camping or backpacking. Some people are part of a larger group that goes four-wheeling. Comms is used all over the place by a variety of people. So within the area of emergency communications, the GoKit that you might want to develop will need to answer two basic and fundamental questions. One, you need to understand your mission. And two, you need to define how success is measured or defined. In the realm of MCOMs, my mission would then to get every message I handle to its intended recipient quickly, accurately, and with minimal fuss. My success criteria is simple. Was the message delivered as it was given to me? And did the person receiving the message receive the same message? The underlying message here is that in order to meet my mission goals and success criteria, I must be adequately prepared to handle my assignment so that I can keep focused on my job. Being prepared, both as in the GoKit components as well as my environmental preparations that I'll talk on a little bit later on, will enable me to focus on my task. Going to an MCOMS assignment, you must take into account a number of considerations, including the current state of things as they are, which GoKit should I take if you have more than one, how am I going to power my GoKit for the duration of the assignment, what should I wear in order to be comfortable and safe, including PPE equipment, do I need to be protected from the weather or environment, how much food and water should I take or do I need to take? Do I need to take any specialized training to fulfill my assignment? How do I get to my staging area in the first place? Are there any hazardous zones to deal with? The list goes on and on. Obviously, in order to use your GoKit, you actually need to assemble it before the assignment, which means now is the time to put one together. You might also think through each possible assignment that you might be faced with and plan your kit to meet this. There are lots of different types of different incident types that we might encounter. One that can be very dangerous and takes the lives of millions throughout human history are natural disasters. And guess which one of the natural disasters is on our minds here in Salt Lake County? You guessed it. Earthquakes. We also have wildfire that is it's burning right now, as a matter of fact, and conflagration. Now, okay, this is a bonus question. What is the definition of conflagration? Whoever can answer that question, unmute your mic and let me know, and you'll get a prize. What is the definition of conflagration? No takers? Okay. I know you're just anxious to...
It's a fire.
Well, okay, very good. It is a fire. An extensive fire which destroys a great deal of land or property. So that is... and thank you, KJ7JJ for that answer. Utah is no stranger to winter storms. Can you imagine digging that telephone pole out? Who remembers the Salt Lake City flood down Main Street in 1983? Flooding is a very real potential danger here in Utah. Not many hurricanes, but definitely tornadoes. Now, just because we don't actually get any hurricanes in Utah doesn't mean that we don't get hurricane force winds. Extreme winds can come at any time, as we all know. Wind damage is a real threat here in Utah. As a matter of fact, we just had heavy winds not too long ago. My car was almost totaled with the wind that we had a few months ago. Hit 80 miles an hour for about 10 seconds. So winds are very dangerous. And this is something that I thought other parts of the world were plagued with, pun intended, and that we wouldn't be plagued with anything like this, and that is the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. So, another extra bonus question: what's the difference between an epidemic and pandemic? Go ahead and unmute your mic if you want to test your answering ability.
Since you covered this the other day, do I get to cheat?
Anybody who wants to open up, go ahead.
A pandemic is global, an epidemic is usually localized.
Aha! Mickey stole it from you, Ryan. That is exactly right. An epidemic is an outbreak of a disease in a specific geographical area, like Salt Lake County, for example, whereas a pandemic is the outbreak of a disease globally.
Oh, he didn't steal it. I heard somebody else unmute the mic, so I was going to give him a fair chance.
Okay, good. Okay, so the second type of incidents that we might be called upon are man-made incidences. And the first one that comes to mind are terrorist attacks like we had on 9/11 that can also cause mass casualties. There are search and rescue operations that might need MCOM's requirements. Also, multi-vehicle pileups is another example of man-made incident that might require MCOMs. Or aircraft accidents. Remember that an aircraft doesn't have to just crash at the airport. It could just as easily happen on any one of our I-15 corridors, causing a multi-vehicle pileup. So, in other words, man-made incidences can be compounded. You also have train derailments, which is another possibility in Salt Lake County. Not too many shipwrecks in the Great Salt Lake and oil spills, so I think we're safe with that one. But a hazmat incident is very, very plausible. We could have one in any one of our interstates. We could have a train derailment. We have Dugway and other Army installations that might pose a critical problem for us.
Hey, Dan, Mickey has his hand up.
Go ahead, Mickey.
I was only going to say the only reason we don't have shipwrecks on the Great Salt Lake is because they killed off all the whales in the 1800s.
I think you're right. Not a whole lot of whales in the Great Salt Lake.
There is a song.
And then you have events, another type of incident. We talk about events all the time and invite everyone to try one out. I wouldn't call a public service event an MCOMS issue, but you can definitely use the same GoKit on these events as you would in an actual MCOMS event. As a matter of fact, what better way to test out your GoKits than to use them consistently during these non-emergency but critical types of activities? We have Utah SAG events, which include races and marathons. There are parades and various other community celebration events. Of course, you have the ARRL Field Day, and as well as get on the air activities and the SOTA events, the school on the air, as was announced earlier tonight. So we've identified types of events where you might utilize your GoKit. We now need to briefly discuss the type of assignments where you might be called upon to serve. Depending on the assignment might dictate the type of GoKit you bring along, and consequently the type of GoKit that you want to create. You may be asked to serve as a base station, which includes being an incident command post, an EOC, a hospital, or even you'll be asked to stay at home. You might be called to field a field command post or a shelter or a relay station, an aid station. You might be called to be a mobile station, including a mobile command post, might be a SAG position or a relay station, or shadow somebody in a vehicle. Along with the type of event, or the event type and assignment type, you also have the communication type or mode of communications that may need to be addressed. There's always tactical voice comms for UHF and VHF on FM. You might need to provide digital comms like VHF Packet or WinLink or D-Star. Live video feeds are a plausible requirement, along with regular still pictures. How about the long-haul messaging using HF single sideband or CW? There's other modes. There's also other modes that have been around us that may be working. The telephone may still be working. Agency radio comms may be something that you may be asked to run, as well as the thing that's been running, that's been around for thousands of years, and that's a runner. Passing information and messages from one location to the next. The length of time that your assignment carries may determine what you're able to bring to the table as far as serving as an MCOM support role. You need to be able to ascertain how long you might be called in for. Is it an hour or a few hours, or is it an overnight event? If it is something longer than a few hours, then you'll probably need to bring supporting kits in addition to your MCOM's GoKit. Here's an example of a 24-hour short-term GoKit, which includes your communication equipment as well as items to make your stay more enjoyable. Then there are events which might be used, you may be called for a longer duration, say 2 to 4 days or even longer. In which case, a 96-hour GoKit in a compartmentalized duffel bag might be just the thing to take with you. Here are a few things that you need to be cognizant of. Your assignment location may be without power, heat, water, and phone service, and most businesses in the area will not be open. You must provide your own equipment and gear, and you are responsible for your own safety, welfare, and comfort. You probably won't be housed in the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, but most likely you'll be in a tent set up in a parking lot, and it might even be your own tent until another organization comes to provide something better. So, my mission is to provide sound communications. My goals of operation are ways to accomplish my mission. So what are my goals that I'm going to satisfy? Well, I want it to be easily deployed, both in terms of my GoKit as well as my supporting gear. I want to be able to get on the air quickly. I want to be able to stay on the air for as long as I am needed. I want to be an effective communicator, which is my mission. And I put have fun in there because we may not have a lot of fun in an actual emergency, but it sure is fun doing the drills and practice sessions before the actual emergency takes place. Now, this next section deals with the number of attributes of your GoKit that needs to be addressed. I call this field expedient equipment, or in other words, what attributes of my GoKit that make my GoKit field expedient? Well, let's talk about it. There's modularity. Do you need everything in your bag? Maybe. Another option is to take smaller kits that you've built depending on the occasion. Remember the event that may last a couple hours to a 2-week deployment? You're probably going to be taking different kits with that. There's the portability aspect. Depending on how modular you created your GoKit will drive how portable it is. What have you to transport the kit? We'll talk about that. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk about each of these in slightly more detail a little bit later on. Then there's the tested. Have you actually tried and tested each and every component in your GoKit? Now's the time to find out if something doesn't work. A good idea would be to go outside or in another room with your kit and take everything out that you think you need. How many times did you have to go back indoors to get something? Then there's, are you organized, or is your GoKit organized? The more organized you are, the more efficient you will be out in the field. As a matter of fact, you have an inventory sheet in each GoKit. Probably one of the most important ones is your GoKit understood? Meaning, do you understand your equipment, its capabilities, what it can and can't do? Do you know how it all works? Do you know how to configure new repeaters? What about menu items that you need to understand? Do you have cheat sheets or mini manuals for each component in your GoKit? How about printed sheets of your channels? So let's briefly explore a little bit more about the modularity concept. You might consider making a GoKit with modularity in mind. They should be relatively small and easily transportable. The modules that you create should supplement each other with the goal in mind to extend your capabilities and duration. Using the modular model, you might consider making basic kits like a day pack, a 24-hour assignment kit that includes items for an overnight stay, or even a 96-hour kit. Kind of what we're trying to preach with the Safe Neighborhood program is that everybody should have a 96-hour kit. We should do what we preach, in other words. There are specialty kits that you might put together that augment your primary GoKit, like an office field kit or a computer kit. How about a portable radio kit? How about an antenna and mast kit or a power equipment kit? You can also have some supplemental kits made up with your additional gear, like a vehicle tool kit or an evacuation kit. Again, here's an example of a 96-hour GoKit in a compartmentalized duffel bag. Each one of these smaller bags has its own thing. The red one is the common gear, which includes the first aid and things that you need to, like PPE devices. Your provisions kit, in this case, this example has MREs, but you could have other things in there, freeze-dried food, there's plastic trash bags, etc. The individual gear are things that make you more comfortable. A change of clothes. Don't forget the TP and underwear. So, we've talked about modularity. Next is portability. Or how am I going to take my GoKit to my assigned location? Well, how are you going to carry it? If the GoKit is small, it might fit in a waist pack or a small backpack. Now, I saw this ad for a waist pack. Pretty disgusting if you ask me, but I think it made a point. That's a true waist pack. There's the Pelican type cases, or a Pelican case if you're if you roll that way. I'm thinking more, in fact, of the Harbor Freight Apache cases. A lot of different various sizes for that. You may need a dolly or a wagon to lug your GoKit around. Probably something that Ryan uses to take his GoKits around. Or
No, but there's people that use trailers, so it
Yeah.
can be anything like a camper.
or a vehicle or a camper or an RV that will carry your equipment to your event, so to your assignment. So lots of ways to be portable. So modularity, portability. Let's talk about organization. Do you know what's in your GoKit? Is it organized? Again, being more efficient, having things organized with things written down will greatly enhance your effectiveness out in the field. So as you can see, all of these GoKits and supplemental bags are clearly labeled for to be used. Another thing I might mention is inventorying all of your bags with an inventory sheet. I think is very, very important, so that you can, one, make sure that you have everything that should be in each of these mini packs, and so if you use something, you can replenish it, and it'll be a lot easier to find out and know things where they are during your time of deployment. If you have things written down. So we talked about all of these, organized, and the next is understood. You need to understand your equipment, like I said, its capabilities. How about the documents that should be included with there, including frequencies and channels on all your radios, printed and laminated. Also, you should have your license, your ham radio license, and your manuals, and anything else that you deem important to include with that. So here's a sample basic GoKit that may contain the following. So you have your radio, and that includes your antenna, power, and accessories. Regeneration of your power. That could be solar or another form of external power. Then you may include tools with that, including note-taking and manuals and documents. Here's an example of a sample inventory of an HT GoKit. On the left-hand side is an example Baofeng option. On the right-hand side is a kit that you may have with your VX6R Yaesu radio. Put in the radio that you wish to use. Here's some other items that should be included in the GoKit. And don't forget your documents, both hard and soft copy. Your radio manuals are very important, your tip sheets, your band plans, your FCC license, and other supporting documents. So going around the internet and various YouTube channels, I found a lot of very interesting GoKits that I thought was very, very nice, that helped me design my own. Here's one with a Pelican case with a dual bander. Now this is one I really like. This is a 50 cal ammo can with an HT and an amplifier. This is a 25 watt amplifier that makes your 4.5 watts to 25 watts. I think that's a brilliant idea. And look what he did with the, because it's a metal ammo can, he's using the ammo can as the part where you attach your mag mount antenna to, your ground plane. I'm not sure how effective something that small is, but I think he has the right idea. Here's an Apache 3800 with a quad bander in there. And boy, how about the works? A 6U 19-inch case. I was drooling over that one. Now here's an example of a plastic ammo can with a dual bander in there. And this guy made it so that it can either be run with the radio inside the ammo can, or he can pull it out and set the radio out and work with it that way. I think that was a great idea that he had. Don't forget your HTs. Excuse me. Your HTs, I think, are just as important as your mobile radios in a GoKit. I personally, I saw this and I go, that's a great idea. So I bought a cheap Harbor Freight case, and I put my HTs in there. And it's great where you're deployed and other people need to borrow a radio and they didn't have theirs, so you can go ahead and lend them one of your radios. Here's a GoKit from AA7RG. This was used at a SAG event. I really liked how he used an erasable board, a writing board, to take notes. I think that was a brilliant idea. Here's my SAG GoKit. This is actually the first GoKit that I created. It's very plain and basic, but it does the job. And I have a couple of 7 amp hour batteries underneath there, and there's the external speaker, and it really worked for me. Just grab and go, put it in a SAG vehicle, and put the antenna on the vehicle. I'm ready to rock and roll. This is a similar GoKit that a member of my club, Steve, made, patterned after my GoKit. He added a headphones in there, which I thought was a great idea. Another GoKit by AI3W Rick. I like these various different ideas that people have. He has a drawer that he uses to put his various cables and whatnot. And I like this little power conditioning unit that has lights that pull out. These are just great examples of what people do when they think about building a GoKit. Here's one from KG7IGW. Very well done, professionally made. Just a lot of great ideas here. Of course, you have Ryan's GoKit. I was very, very impressed to see Ryan on the activity that we had just not too long ago. Great setup he has there. We also have Whiskey Bravo 7, Victor Papa Charlie's GoKit. I like the simplicity of the design. You don't have to have 60 radios facing you. It could be something as simple as this. I know that he has his batteries underneath there, and this runs for quite a while. Excellent job. Very, very, very nice. So this is my Salt Lake County Aries GoKit. You guys have seen it. Sometimes I am asked, how did you all make it fit? And what I use CAD, computer-aided design. Here's an example of the schematics, the electrical schematics. This is the final version of what that looks like. Here's my radio case and how things are put together. There's the radio shelf detail. I like to measure twice and cut once. And so doing it in CAD allows me to do that. It does things in real world measurements and it scales it perfectly. So that's why I use CAD. There's the radio platform and even the bolt placement I have on CAD. There's the top plate assembly of my radio case. And there's the final version of that. I decided, based on things that I saw, that I wanted my SL239 connections on the outside. And some people ask me why, because some people have it on the case themselves. But the reason why I did it is in case of inclement weather, I want to be able to close my case front without having to deal with an antenna. So that's why I have it on the side. Now, here's my HF GoKit conceptual drawing that I did in Visio. I wanted to see if I could do it in another format besides just CAD, and Microsoft Visio is a great option to do that. There's also a free utility called drawing.io, I believe, that you can do the very same thing, scaled perfectly to create your design. And there's a couple of electrical schematics that I created for my G90, my Xiegu G90, and this is the one that I settled on. Again, do it in a drawing program so that you can figure it out before you try to put it all together. And this is a work in progress. I'm waiting for a part for my Xiegu G90, the 7-inch display that's going to go right above it. And until that happens, I have the panel for the front sitting in my workroom, ready to be bolted on here when I get the last piece of the GoKit. But here's a look at the finished product in the rear. This is the electrical connections. There's the coax antenna connections that I did there. So, now it's your turn. I have 7 simple steps for you to start your own GoKit. Step number 1 is start out simple. Use the KISS method, especially if this is your first GoKit. Now, you may think you know what KISS means, but KISS is an acronym for Keep It Simple, Sailor. Use what you already have lying around. It doesn't have to be expensive. You probably already have most things for a GoKit to be put together. Ask for guides from people who have made their own GoKits. Let them make the mistake. You can benefit from their mistakes, so you don't have to do the same things. Think outside the box. Be creative in making your kit with what you have. Example is my power box to power all my GoKits. I'm using a really big, thick twist connector that I plug into all of my GoKits to power up. I haven't seen that anywhere else doing the same type of thing that I'm doing, so I thought I would be just a little bit different. Don't be afraid to borrow ideas from other GoKits. That's what I do all the time. And for goodness sakes, this is your GoKit, so don't compare yours to another GoKit. Remember, your GoKit is based on your needs and not someone else's. Most importantly, I think, is have fun. I think that's the whole idea. Build the GoKit, enjoy doing it, practice with the drills so that you'll be ready and it'll be secondhand when a real disaster happens. So, there's a number of resources that you may go to help build your first GoKit. Consider looking at your Facebook account called Ham Radio GoKits. They have tons of information there. Club activities, if your club wants to do a GoKit build, which is what my club did, join a club if you're not part of one. There's, of course, YouTube and, of course, the Google and Yahoo and 1,000 other searches out there. And of course, you can contact me, email me at any time with any direction that you may be looking for. And with that, thank you everybody in 73. I'm going to stop my sharing and ask if there's any questions that people have. Go ahead and unmute your mic if you have any questions on creating your own GoKit.
Great presentation, Dan. Great.
Repeat that again, please, and so we can take notes.
Well, it turns out that this presentation will be on the Salt Lake County Aries YouTube. So you can go ahead and Eldon was going to talk a little bit about it, and I'm going to let him do that. But once I get it on the the YouTube channel, you'll be able to watch it at your leisure. Any other questions?
Dan,
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes, Kelly.
Just a couple of three quick things. One thing I've done with all of my kits, so when I open it up, the first thing that falls out is the flashlight. And I use the little cheapy freebies from Harbor Freight.
Yep.
The other thing is there is a fantastic program for doing that kind of layout. It's called AV Snap.
AV Snap, okay.
It's a freebie. A really good program for doing schematics. And you can also import pictures of your radio. So if you want to develop something for a non-technical person, you can import the pictures in that.
That's AV Snap?
Yes.
As an audio video snap?
Yes, and they also have some extremely good training videos that go with it.
Fantastic. Great idea.
And the other one, when we do get called out on an assignment, be conscious of where you're going. If you're going in to support them in the hospital, I always say you want to go in so they mistake you for a doctor. You don't want to haul a whole cartload of equipment in or be bristling with, a dozen handheld radios sticking out of every pocket. You want to go in looking like a professional.
Excellent advice. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you.
I do have a comment too, Dan, because it was brought up in the chat that you had mentioned the SOTA, the schools on the air. For anybody that's curious about that didn't see my thing in there, that's something that has been brought up that we're going to start getting into details, and it's going to be the next exercise for Salt Lake County Aries. That's just going to be the theme. We want to, we're looking at doing something where it's going to be based off the elementary schools for safe neighborhoods, for doing, individual schools. So.
Perfect.
So.
Okay, so that, like you said, that's going to be our next exercise. More information to come. If you're interested in being part of the committee, I've set up a meeting for next Wednesday, since it's the 5th Wednesday, and we'll start 6:30-ish and go for an hour or so that we're done in time for nets if people are interested. We'll be using the same passcode and password to get in. So if you're interested in being part of the exercise committee training, then plan on it. And we will do more with it later. So
there's a lot of elementary schools too, so we would absolutely love to have as much participation from everybody that we can.
Okay, the next thing that I wanted to talk about, and I'm trying to find it on my to share. While
you're doing that, Eldon, there was a couple questions in there, it looks like. I don't know if Dan wants to elaborate on.
Yeah, let me just quickly go through the questions here. I'm going to start with the last one. How much would you recommend budgeting for a first Go box? And my answer was, it depends on what you already have. If you're starting from scratch with nothing, then I would budget $100. You'll be able to get all the basics for your GoKit, and that includes the bag. It doesn't have to be an Apache case. It could be on a backpack, and you can get those really, really inexpensive. So it depends what your budget is. If you have $50, or if you have $100, or if you have $500, you can go ahead and spend it. For me, I try to, my GoKits are purpose built, meaning that each GoKit has a purpose built into it. So my Salt Lake County Aries GoKit, I wanted to have enough battery size to run my radios for 24/7 with solar panels. That cost money to do that. But I have other GoKits that is under $100, and that includes the radio and the batteries in there. So it just depends on what you have available. I would take inventory of what you currently have, and again, remember, an HT can be an effective GoKit, especially if I really like that idea with the amplifier. I think those are about $120. Maybe they may be more than that, but with a HT, a 5-watt radio, you can bring that up to 25 watts and put that in a GoKit. So I think that was a great idea. A lot of things that people use: Autodesk Fusion 360 for 3D designs and printing. That's free for personal use. That's a great idea. I am going to put this presentation on the Salt Lake County Aries YouTube channel, and so like I said, you can watch it there. And that's why you didn't see it recording, because I am recording on an application on my personal laptop here. So that's why you don't see a Zoom recording. And let's see, I think that's about it. Okay, what is the purpose of an amplifier in a GoKit? If you recall, that was a GoKit based on a HT, which is only a 5-watt radio, and the person wanted to make it into a 25-watt radio, 25-watt GoKit. So why do you want extra power? Well, you may need an extra 25. You may need the extra power to hit a repeater that your regular HT can't do. So that's why you would want to do that. David says, I just finished a GoKit that permits voice and packet WinLink for commercial and battery power. HTs with 30 watt amp. See, that's great idea.
There's also radios too, like the Gentase 6188 or its equivalent, 25 watt mobile that's almost the size of your handheld.
Yeah. Yep. So, okay. Back to you.
Thanks, Dan.
Eldon. Sure.
Okay. Here is the Salt Lake County Aries YouTube channel. You can see it's got a lot of different things on it. So, anything you're interested in, we try and record all of our in-person meetings to have them up there. So if you're interested, go ahead and check them out.
Please subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. How many we got 37 subscribers, so the other is our web page. We've been working on keeping it up to date, or getting it back up to date. It was not very well off for a little while, but we've been working on having it back up and going. So, we'll have our monthly meetings listed here. Right now, if you lose the codes, there'll be a thing talking about what the meeting is with the codes on the web page. So,
and as people see on there for the 28 on there, instead of TBD, for those that have joined late,
I just sent him the link or send him the information to have him include that. So that'll get done.
All right, cool. But
go ahead.
For anybody though that came in late, we're looking at having, as it stood last week, I think it was, we're going to be having Mickey do a presentation on effective net control operators. And that's based off of our last exercise. Anybody at any time can be called to be a net control operator, so knowing how to do all that stuff. So hopefully that'll be a good beneficial presentation for everybody, and that's going to be on the 28th.
And if there's something that you want on the web page that you don't see, go ahead and email me and I'll forward it to the webmaster. Also, if you want your nets listed on the over here on the calendar, send me an email saying you would like your nets put on there so we can get that done. Okay. Now, like they said, the other thing that we're going to talk about is soda on the schools on the air. I think we talked about it for just a minute, but we're looking forward to it. I'm excited for it because I think it'll be a good exercise for us. The whole idea is going to be to see how many schools we can actually get covered in the valley. So keep that in mind. And anybody have any questions or comments? On mic or unmute and go ahead and ask your question. Or
This is Doug. I have a comment. We have a couple of ham radio operators who have applied for membership in Aries. I just received the applications today, and we will be processing them as soon as possible. So Bruce and Steve, thank you, and we will get back to you.
Great. Also, if you guys can encourage your other club members, at least join us. At least get your application filled out so that, if we need help somewhere, we can get in touch with you and get the people that we need to help out with those problems that we need. So any other questions, comments? Seeing none, appreciate you all being here tonight. Next week, we'll have the exercise meeting, start planning it. And then week after next, on October 7th, will be our board meeting. So board members, please plan to attend that one. So thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Dan, for doing that so short notice.
Yep.
Great presentation, and
Thank you.
please join us for next month's meeting for net control operators, unless I can get the special guest.
Guys, have a great evening.
And thanks, Ryan, for all you guys doing.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.